case it was unclear before, I really like music in video games. You know, I've been playing them since 2009, and in case you haven't been on this website in forever, then you'll probably be aware that top 10s have been, how do I put this nicely, done to death. So let's see if we can't beat the dead horse even more using the immutable power of the songs that if you mute, congratulations, you've got taste and you should feel bad. At least according to my top 10, which is probably a good segue into warning. The following video contains opinions. Not only that, but it contains 10 of them. You have been warned. If you can't handle this, feel free to take shelter in the trending tab. I don't know, whatever you do to get your low quality entertainment. Also, spoilers, a lot of spoilers. Don't watch if you hate spoilers. And one other thing before we get going, I'm just going to set a cap of 2 songs per game because otherwise the entire list would just be Pokemon Platinum and I'm not making that up. Right, needless drama out of the way, housekeeping, opinion warnings, spoiler warnings. Let's do this. Here are 10 songs I think are pretty epic and why they're pretty epic. Let's go.
Redacted.
On account of being absolutely broke, I haven't had a chance to play any quote-unquote new games that come out recently. I mean, if you strap my PS4 to a fucking rocket, we probably would have hit Mars by now, so naturally if I see one of those big games on sale, you know I'm gonna take it. You know, I love me a bit of Steam Summer Sale, you know, Lord Gaben bless me and all that. Such is the case with Devil May Cry 5. Was I familiar with the franchise in any capacity? No. In fact, it's the first game in the franchise I'd even watched gameplay of. So was I familiar with how kick-ass the music was? Actually, yeah, because I'd spoiled it for myself a few months before I played the game. Because when it comes to game soundtracks, I have about as much self-control as a uni student around a week-old pot noodle. Cast your mind back to 2019, which was 4th. Awards season was in full swing, and being the curious little weapon I was back in 2019, look at you, you fucking ugly wanker. I went sniffing around the music categories because I was looking for more stuff, as you do, because I was an absolute degenerate and lol. And 95% of the songs I listened to could not recall a single note. My memory's shit. And the song that made it onto this list, no spoilers yet, that made it onto the pile as well of songs that I didn't remember. So why is it here? Because when I played Devil May Cry 5, Devil Trigger is unquestionably one of the bangeriest bangers, that's a word now, I'm running with it, there's ever been committed to media, let alone gaming. When I was watching the fucking opening credits, watching Nero do his one-arm thing, I don't know, did he have his other arm at this point? I was half focused on the action and half throwing a rave in my goddamn living room because the song slaps. Oh my god, go listen to it. The opening is perfect, it just baits you in like a fucking bad Reddit thread. It's so fitting. The lyrics as well, I love them. It's a treat up on the ears for all 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Learn to breathe, you How can one song perfectly encapsulate the entire mood and direction of a whole entire game is nothing short of magical. Listening to it while writing this script genuinely got me hyped up. I was playing the game all over again. When the opening drop hits, it never ever slows down, which in a game like this is gold. No, gold. It's platinum. Platinum games. Babylon's Fall wasn't very good. Casey Edwards knew exactly what he was getting into when he cooked up this masterpiece, and I'm so glad I finally got around to enjoying it in all its devil-triggering glory. The entire time I was playing the game, I kept on thinking to myself, is there anything that could even somewhat measure up to Devil Trigger? I mean, Crimson Cloud deserves a mention, as Linkin Parky as it sounds. Subhuman doesn't grab me at all, I just don't like the screaming, lol. But they left the best one for last. More on that later. Oh, what a tease. Moving on.
You are going to Brazil.
Hello, this is the editor here. Entry number 9 was supposed to be the only thing I know for real from Metal Gear Rising, but the footage got corrupted. Just pretend like the footage is here, or go watch my Metal Gear Rising video for more information. Now on with the show, haha.
What the f*** is a kilometer?
I will shamelessly shout this from the rooftops till the day I die, but Far Cry 5 will always hold a special place in my heart. Is it an out-and-out classic? No, it's not. It's not even my favorite Far Cry game. 4 and 6, they're well better than that. But what does Far Cry 5 have? Pound for pound, my favorite lyrical soundtrack of all time. I am not jesting. It's that good. Notice I said lyrically specifically because other games don't have lyrics, so it feels unfair to compare the two. It's like me up against Mike Tyson. I'm just gonna die. But this is also the second defender on the this is why I had to put a 2-song per game limit on this video list, as I couldn't decide. I was going back and forth myself for hours, but I actually want to release this video before I die, so keep your rifle by your side is a f***ing banger. Take a shot for how many times I say that. Don't, you'll die. Does it scream road safety laws prepare to be ignored? Yes, absolutely, undeniably. Is that the entire appeal? Yeah. Driving around rural Montana like the road safety laws are a suggestion with keep your rifle by your side blasting at max volume genuinely approaches the Freebird guitar solo levels of reckless driving, and I'm here for it. Another aspect I love is how juxtaposed it is to some aspects of the game. See, in-game, this song only plays when you're kicking around Jacob's area of the game, you know, the one with all the torture and only you and such and such and such. But if this song was showed up during, say, Herc's portion, like, Herc, if it's only here during his portion of the game, it would fit right in. You know, it would be fine. But, you know, chuck in a song that's so American, it gives me the vibe it was made by TF2 Soldier's redneck cousin, and I'll always be happy to hear it blasting on the radio while I'm blasting 60 million shovels at everything that moves.
Excuse me, are y'all with the cult?
Look, I really like Far Cry 5, okay? Just take everything I said about the previous entry, Control-C, Control-V, bosh, have a good I'm losing my head here, gamers. I'm losing my head. I hate that word. Why did I say that? But to add on to that, Far Cry 5 always captured this unique feeling that I hadn't felt prior to any game at that point. Granted, this was back in summer of 2018 that I first played through this game, so I had very, very little experience of like anything. I mean, sure, I'd played Far Cry 4 1,000,001 times, but something about 5 just kind of gripped me. I can't really describe it beyond harnessing my inner Florida man or Montana man, whatever the fuck you prefer, and torching everything in a farm radius like the goddamn pyro from Team Fortress 2. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, now he's our father. This song's really good. Like, it's actually unbelievable. Like, I don't know if this is Far Cry 5's cult propaganda working its magic on my 2 brain cells. They're working overtime as is. But this song paints such a vivid picture of what the cult think they look like, when in actuality it's literally everything you'd expect out of a cult. I mean, hell, even writing this script, I kept on getting distracted by how much of a bop it is. And while that happened with literally every song on this list, it happened the most by far. See, I'm clicking, that means you know it's important. With Far Cry 5. Seriously, when are we going to talk about this game's music? Like, sure, it's a 7.5 out of 10, 8 at a push, but like, there's not a bad song to be found anywhere. Okay, that concludes the Far Cry 5 appreciation segment of this video. I hope I won't get too distracted by ranting about a game that's already featured once on this list and will undeniably tread old ground that I already went over in a previous video. That would sure be lame, but I have it on good authority. I would never do something that stupid.
Like the good old days after 9.
If I finish this joke, I will get demonetized.
Yeah, I lied. I'm not sorry. I ain't gonna apologize. Fuck you. Red Sun is everything. It's far and away my most streamed song on Spotify last year. It's so fitting. It's so amazing. For the honest warmonger himself, Sundowner. It has got my fourth, little teaser for you there. It's got my 4th favorite drop in any song in any game ever. The other 3 are on this list. I mentioned that already. Oh, what a tease I am. Stick around to the end. Oh boy. But everything fits together like some masochistic jigsaw puzzle. The song, the beat, the lyrics, everything. Season it with the scenery, pun, of the boss fight, the bonk of sword against machete, slaps your eardrums like a haymaker from Deontay Wilder. But to be brutally honest, every single theme from Metal Gear Rising could have realistically made it onto this list because they're all musical ecstasy, don't do drugs, and I will never get bored of going on about them. But you lot probably will get bored of me going on about it. This video is getting real long, so again, you could go watch my Metal Gear Rising video for more details, but it fucking sucks, so let's move on.
Stay back, I got a chainsaw.
You there, do you like guns? Do you like using those guns? Do you like hell? of course you don't. But do you like using those guns in the single most hyper-masculine way ever to fight a literal one-man crusade against the aforementioned hell, backed with the most demonic chanting ever to be made with a f***ing lawnmower? Then Doom Eternal is the game for you. I was this close to only having subtitles for this segment to get maximum appreciation for the Doom Eternal OST. Once again, it was made with a f***ing lawnmower, but unfortunately that's what we call the copyright strike any percent speedrun, so I can't. Love to, but the fact that Doom Eternal turned out as beautiful as it did, following on from Doom 2016, is nothing short of remarkable given the tumultuous state of development. Which, can we talk about how Mick Gordon deserves so much more respect than he got from id Software? It's safe to say the man's a goddamn musical genius, and for id to just screw him over as much as they did, almost jeopardizing the entire OST, not to mention the entire ass game, just because of some corporate whose name I can't even remember. It's just... I'm gonna talk about the game now before I get too off. Doom Eternal falls into the category of games that I like to call brain off, life good, which you can probably tell by how brain dead I sound right now. Other games in this category include Minecraft and Slime Rancher, but for opposite reasons. With those two, I can just simply chill, relax, turn off my brain, put some music on, easy, chill, done, bot. Doom Eternal achieves the same relaxation, but in the opposite way, with so much everything that the outside just doesn't exist anymore, and all there is... and... demonetized. Good job, me. Proud of you, me. Thanks, me. Nailed it. And a major aspect of maintaining that immersion and suspension of disbelief that my brain actually finds any solace in the literal hellscape, which now I say out loud is rather concerning, whatever, is, you guessed it, the only thing they fear is you. Which, another extremely wordy-ass title aside, is the single most hype track in this entire list. No song gets you in the mood to just do stuff like this. I'm including the drop in Red Sun in that too, by the way. Sorry, Sundanime, as invincible as you are, there's levels to this game. Those guitar riffs in the last segment before the drop, they should be immortalized already. They instantly just tell you, this is who you are, this is what you do. Here's a shotgun, happy hunting, Doom guy. We like you and your big masculine biceps. Ho 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 ho. Why did I turn into Santa at the end of that? But there is no better song in any game that perfectly captures the mood, tone, atmosphere, murder than the only thing they fear is you. So why isn't it higher? Subjective favoritism. I promise this is the last song on the list that has a stupidly long title, because now that's 4 that have excessively long titles. I'm quite frankly getting sick to death of this. So let's move on before I burst a blood vessel. Power! As I've already explained before, Devil May Cry 5 was the most recent in the category of games I like to call games I played with zero expectation of anything in its franchise but had an amazing experience with regardless. Nailed it. Members include Doom 2016, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and Red Dead Redemption 2. But Devil May Cry 5 must just be the second best in that entire category, bolstered in no small part because of, you guessed it, you clicked on this video, you know what it's like, the soundtrack. But I talked about it 6 entries ago, so I won't bore you with details. So straight to the point, Bury the Light. No, Virgil, stop that, you bastard. My goddamn video, get out. Every single time I play through a level with Virgil without fail, I'm half playing the game and half singing along to Bury the Light. It's literally like I'm having a rave in the living room again. It's got everything. I know I've said that a lot, but I'm running out of hyperbole and synonyms and that. I'm not a walking dictionary, right? Honestly, the opening literally gave me chills the first time I heard it. Chills. And then the in-your-face drum drop that makes it very, very clear you've done fucked up, now suffer the consequences. The fact that the song is as long as it is, it's like 9+ minutes, I don't know. It's icing on the cake because it makes it very ideal to actually have on when you're just out and about doing housework, because believe it or not, a song that goes as hard as Bury the Light is surprisingly therapeutic to do your dishes to. Maybe this is saying more about me than I care to admit, but you know, I don't really care. Never apologize, never surrender. But I'm also going to surrender the rest of this entry, because I've spoken enough about Devil May Cry 5 in the Devil Trigger entry. But if for some godforsaken reason you lot want me to make a whole ass video on Devil May Cry 5, just let me know, okay? Because Oh, I need a drink.
The aliens are coming! We've been compromised!
When I first played through Pokemon Ultra Moon, I thought to myself for a vast majority of the game, this is very samey to regular Pokemon Moon. I was still having fun, don't get me wrong. I think they're both enjoyable games, flaws aside, but they were just missing that hit, that extra little push, just tipped the games into being truly great. In my opinion, there was an opinion warning in this goddamn video. You knew what you were getting into, you knobhead. Keep in mind, I hadn't played a mainline game in the Pokemon series since Black and White 2, which on account of not owning a 3DS until 2016 and thus missing X, Y, and ORAS, this was my not so grand return to the franchise that made my childhood what it was. So I went through the entire game with modern sensibilities and barring a few notable encounters, mainly Totem Lurantis, it wasn't anything special. Until him. Seeing Necrozma so effortlessly bat, pun intended, Lunala, who'd soloed Mother Beast Lusamine in the previous game, it gave off Giratina vibes in the best way possible. Then it gave off Kyurem vibes, but somehow managed to one-up that by not only being controlled by some green-haired geezer with familial issues. It's just, it's so good, it's so good. The battle against Dawnwing's Necrozma was nothing inherently special as I kind of just one-shot it with my Decidueye, and at this point I was thinking, there's got to be something here, this doesn't feel right, there's got to be something more, and then, Ultra Necrozma is simply put my favourite battle I've had in any game ever. Better than Virgil, better than Doom Eternal, better than Sundowner, better than Sam, all of them. All of them gave off this air that you've met your match, and this encounter will test everything you've learned to this point. Ultra Necrozma took all that, amped it up to comical levels, and basically said, listen here, you little you're going to die. Facing off against this thing gave off this aura that I've never felt in any game before. Dread. I wasn't fighting a Pokemon that I had done for 9 years up to that point. I was fighting something hell-bent on destroying me. So in my naive fashion I tried. And I lost. And I lost again, and again, and every single time I tried to fight this thing, the same amazing song played. Granted, Dawnwing's Necrozma's theme is amazing and could honestly be on this list if there are 11 entries. It's that good, but nothing tops Ultra Necrozma. The fear, the dread, and that organ, it's everything! I've said it again, but it bears repeating. And then you hear the faint specks of not only the other Necrozma theme, but Solgaleo and Lunala's theme, and everything just comes full circle. Not only that, I credit this battle, and by extension the battle theme, for rejuvenating my love of Pokemon, as it was the first time I'd ever had to properly strategize a team, a tactic, and a plan to beat this fucking thing, which set me down the road of competitive battling and helped me discover my love for the franchise that kind of fallen out of my life for a few years. But never again, and I owe it to Ultra Necrozma. Is Ultra Sun and Moon an average game? Yes, undeniably, 7 out of 10, middle of the road, don't care. Does it feature what might just be my favourite antagonist in any game ever? Also yes, that isn't even delving into how Ultra Necrozma became my third favourite Pokemon of all time, which I'll undoubtedly cover in its own video because it's a huge source of passion and nostalgia for me that I really want to share. But until then, Arceus bless you, you magnificent crystal beast.
Dutch, I got a meme to show you!
Red Dead Redemption 2 was one of those games where I went into it with zero expectations, as already explained. Sure, I'd seen how many awards they gave and what rave reviews it was getting, but it never sunk in to me back then because, to be blunt, I was stupid. So when I was in a random game shop, I just saw it vibing on the shelf. I just thought to myself, what could possibly go wrong? And now I can proudly say that Red Dead 2 is the only game that has managed to make me cry on multiple occasions. I got no shame in admitting that. I'm a man, I'm human. But we aren't going to talk about that, thank God. Nor are we going to discuss the amazing, heartfelt, character-driven story, the beautiful world that Rockstar moved heaven and earth to create, or anything like that. Let's talk about Minecraft. I had to get a Minecraft joke in there somewhere. I ain't gonna apologise. my video. The Red Dead Redemption 2 house building theme is one of the greatest accomplishments in the history of all music in all of gaming. My nose is itchy. Now, is that statement needlessly hyperbolic in a shallow attempt to stir up engagement? Best you're at it is. Do I care? No, it's YouTube. This place is fucking cutthroat. Because I adore everything about the house building theme. In a way, in the context of this list, might just be the perfect example of how a song can bring out the best of any game, yes? Even Far Cry New Dawn. I hate that game. Now, I'm likely incredibly biased because I have a soft spot for country/western music, given it was what I largely raised myself on, aside from hard rock, which I always have fond memories of listening to with my dad whenever we were out on drives together. But everything about the house building theme brings together everything you've seen in the game at that point. John is not only trying to get away from his outlaw life, but he's actively trying to better himself. Not just for himself, but for his family. And the lyrics are so beautifully written, and they fully get this across. He's not the selfish asshole who abandoned the gang once Jack was born. He's grown up, and through it all, he's willing to make active effort to make the lives of those around him better. It's just one of a million reasons why I love Red Dead 2. The main reason is why the house building theme is number 2 on this list. It's probably the greatest feel-good song that I've ever listened to. It's nothing short of magnificent. After everything that Red Dead 2 throws at you in those other 6 chapters, including the epilogue, oh my god, I love the epilogue, the house building theme makes all of it better. But there's one song that's even better. Route 201 from Pokemon Platinum is, and always will be, my favourite song of any game of all time. And it isn't even close. I can rave on and on for ages about how beautifully in-your-face Devil Trigger is, the wondrous insanity of Red Sun, or the ball-busting masochism of The Only Thing They Fear Is You. But you never ever forget you first. Twin Leaf Town was very close to making it on this list too, but Route 201 is simply unparalleled. Yes, nostalgia is kind of what's pushed it this far, but it's legitimately a beautiful song. Every single time I play Pokemon Platinum, I make a point just to go back to Route 201. Just to relive that moment of setting off on my first ever journey that I took in any game. It's calm, it's serene, it's beautiful, every note just takes me back to 2009 when I got Platinum as a dumb 8-year-old, not knowing what I was in store for, or where that journey would take me and all the memories I would make along the way. A big part of what makes a game good to me is not just how it plays, how it looks, all that jazz, but the impact it leaves on you while playing it. And Pokemon has undoubtedly had the biggest impact on not only just my game preferences, but my life as a whole. And for that, I am eternally grateful. Now, I could do a whole video itself about Route 201 and Pokemon Platinum, but this video is already stupid long as is, and I guarantee you're all getting sick of me ramble on like a so I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you all so much for watching, and if by some divine miracle you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Maybe even leave a like if you fancy, or a dislike if you hate this video, and by extension me, which is very understandable, and I shall hopefully upload sooner than 9 months. Terribly sorry.